Okay, if you're watching this video in the morning, then good morning. If you're watching this video in the afternoon, then good afternoon or good evening. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to discuss equations of motion and how they came into picture. Okay, fine. So we know there are three equations of motion, right? The first one is v is equal to u plus at. And the second one is s is equal to ut plus half a t square. Okay, and the third one is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, these are derived by the famous person. His name is Galileo Galilei. Okay, fine. And in this equation, you can see some terms, right? V u a t s, right? So here S stands for displacement, and U stands for initial velocity, and V stands for final velocity, and A is acceleration, and T is time. So from these SUVAT, so we formed the acronym that is called SUVAT. Okay, therefore these equations are also called as SUVAT equations. Okay, and we will discuss the derivation of each and every equation of motion. Okay, so first we will discuss the proof of first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at. So from the definition of acceleration itself, we can derive or we can prove this the first equation of motion. So we know that the acceleration is equal to change in velocity divided by time taken, right? What is change in velocity? That is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time taken, right? We know final velocity is v and initial velocity is u. Therefore, a is equal to v minus u divided by time. Okay. So now send this t to the left side. So you will get at is equal to v minus u. Just rearrange this. So when you do that, you will get v minus u is equal to at. And if we send this u to the right side, you will get v is equal to u plus at, which is our first equation. Okay. So therefore, this is the first equation, a proof of first equation of motion, and we can use this equation to find out v acquired by the body in time t, which is moving with acceleration a. Okay, so we are done with the first equation of motion. Now we will discuss the proof of second equation of motion, that is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, fine. So in understanding the derivation of second equation, we have studied that the average velocity is equal to initial velocity plus final velocity upon 2, right? Yeah. So we know initial velocity is u and the final velocity is v. Therefore, average velocity is equal to initial velocity, that is u plus v divided by 2. Let's say this is equation number 1. Okay, fine. And we also know that the displacement is equal to average velocity into time taken by the object. Okay, so just replace this average velocity with this. Okay, so when you do that, you will get displacement is equal to u plus displacement is s, right? Oh yeah, so displacement is s is equal to u plus v divided by 2 into time taken, that is t, right? So let's say this is equation number 2, and we know that from the first equation of motion, we know that v is equal to u plus at, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace this v with the first equation of motion, that v is equal to u plus at. Okay, so when you do that, you will get s is equal to, when you put the value of v in equation number 2, so when you will get s is equal to u plus at divided by 2 into t, right? Yeah, so now we are going to simplify this equation. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, so we got u plus at divided by 2 into time, right? Yeah, okay, so now I'm going to add this. So u plus u, that will be 2u. Okay, so s is equal to 2u, s is equal to 2u plus 80 divided by 2 into t. So now I'm going to multiply this whole thing with the t. I'm going to send this t inside. So if I do that, I'll get s is equal to 2u into t plus 80 into t divided by 2. Okay, fine. So when you multiply u 2u into t, okay, and at into t. So we will get s is equal to 2ut plus at into t, a to the power of 2, okay, at square divided by 2, okay. So we know whenever we have a plus b divided by c, we can write it as a by c plus b by c, right? Okay, whenever we have this kind of equation. So here, let's say this is a and this is b and this is c. So we can write this as 2ut by 2 plus at square by 2. Okay, so I'm going to write in that way. So we will get s is equal to 2ut plus 2ut divided by 2 plus at square divided by 2. Okay, I'm just following this. Okay, this simple maths. Fine. Yeah. Okay. So now I can easily cancel 2 and 2, right? I can easily cancel them out. So if I do that, I'll get s is equal to ut plus at square by 2. Okay, I can write this as s is equal to ut plus half at square, which is our second equation of motion. Okay, and we can use this equation to find out the distance traveled by the object in time t. Fine. Yeah, so we are done with the second equation of motion. Okay, so now we will discuss the third equation of motion, that is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, so I will discuss two methods in getting this equation. Okay, so first method is we will try to eliminate t from the first and second equation of motion. Yeah, and second method we will see after this. Okay, so we can obtain this equation by eliminating t between the first two equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at and s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, so we know the first equation of motion, that is v is equal to u plus at, right? Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to rearrange the terms, that is v, u, a and t. So I'm going to send this u to the left side. So if I do that, I'll get v minus u is equal to at. I'll just rearrange this. So I'll write it as at is equal to v minus u. Okay, now I'm going to send a to the right side. Okay, if I do that, I'll get t is equal to v minus u divided by a. Okay, so I'm going to put this value, I'm going to substitute this value of t in second equation. Okay, second equation of motion. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, fine. So we know the second equation of motion is s is equal to ut plus half at square. I'm going to replace this t with v minus u divided by a. So if I do that, I will get s is equal to u into v minus u divided by a plus half a into v square v minus u divided by a whole square. Okay, v minus u divided by a whole square. I'm just substituting this value of t here. Okay, so we'll get this. Okay, so in the next step, what I'll do is I'm going to send this inside. Okay, I'm going to multiply v minus u with u. Okay, yeah. Okay, so if I do that, I'll get u into v, that is uv, minus u into u, that will be u square. Okay, so and there will be a in the denominator. Okay, so if I do that, I'll get u into v minus u square divided by a plus half a into, see here we have a divided by b to the power of 2, right? Okay, so we can write it as a square by divided by b square, that is v minus u whole square divided by a square. Okay, so if you have any term like this, okay, so let's say this is a and this is b, so we can write it as a square divided by b square. Okay, so a by b whole square we can write as a square by b square. So that's what I did. So v minus u whole square divided by a square. Okay, so now we are going to simplify this. Okay, so s is equal to u into v minus u square divided by a plus half a into v minus u whole square divided by a square. Okay, so if you did not understand this step, go back and listen to that again. Okay, fine. So u into v, that will be uv minus u square. Okay, fine. And I can cancel a, right? Okay, here we have a square and a, so 1a will get cancelled. Okay, so we will get s is equal to uv minus u squared by a plus half v minus u whole square divided by a, because we have cancelled a and a, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to expand this v minus u to the power of 2, v minus u whole square. Okay, so from the equation that is a minus b whole square, we know that a minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square, right? Yeah. So in the place of a we have u, in the place of b we have u. In the place of a we have v, not u, sorry. In the place of b we have u. Yeah, we have u. So our v minus u whole square will become v square minus 2uv plus u square. Okay, I'm going to replace this v minus u whole square with this. Okay, so if I do that, I'll get s is equal to uv. Okay, uv minus u square by a plus v square minus 2uv plus u square divided by 2a. Okay, so I'm just substituting this, okay, in the place of v minus u, in the place of v minus u whole square. Okay, fine. We'll have to further simplify this. Okay. Okay, so in the next step, what I'll do is I will take the LCM of 2a and 2a. If I do that, I'll get LCM as 2a, right? Okay, and if you do that, you will get s is equal to 2 into uv minus u square plus v square minus 2uv plus u square divided by 2a. I've just taken the LCM of 2a and a. Okay, fine. Yeah, and you can think of in this way also. Multiply and divide this with 2. Okay, you'll get the same value, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, in the next step what I'll do is I'll send this to a to the left side. Okay, and at the same time I will send this 2 inside. Okay, so I will multiply this. We have to multiply this 2 with uv, and we have to multiply 2 with u square also. Okay, so if I do that, I'll get 2as is equal to 2uv minus 2u square, and I'll write this as it is. Okay, so v square minus 2uv plus v square. Okay, fine. Yeah, so here you can see there is plus 2uv and minus 2uv. We can cancel them out, right? Okay, and I'll just write all the remaining terms. So I'll get 2as is equal to v square plus u square minus 2u square. Okay, yeah. So whatever the term we are having, we are left with, in this we are writing them. Okay, so v square plus u square minus 2u square. Okay, so u square minus 2u square, that will be minus u square, right? Okay, so 2as is equal to v square minus u square, which is our third equation of motion. Okay, fine. Yeah, and we are done with the first method. Now I'm going to discuss the second method. The second method is very simple. Okay, using this equation we can easily find it out. We can easily derive the third equation of motion. Okay, so what I'll do is I will take the square on both the sides. Okay, why am I doing square? Just because I want to get the third equation. Okay, third equation of motion. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so when I take the square on both the sides, I'll get v square is equal to u plus at whole square. Okay, fine. So just now in the previous slide I have discussed. Okay, if you have any doubt, go back and just move back and listen. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I said this is in the form of a plus b whole square, right? So here our a is u and b is at. So what is the formula? That is a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? Yeah, yeah. So if you write that, v square is equal to u square plus 2uat plus at square. Okay, so this is our b. At is our b. Okay, so a plus b whole square, u square plus 2uat plus at to the power of 2. Okay, fine. In the next step I am going to send this u square to the left side. Okay, so when I okay, so first of all let's discuss this one. Okay, I think I've simplified this first. Okay, so if we have at to the power of 2, we can write this as a power 2 and t power 2. Okay, so at whole square we can write it as a square and t square. Okay, so if when you do that, we will get b square is equal to u square plus 2uat plus a square into t square. Okay, so in the next step I'll send u to the left side. So when I do that, I'll get v square minus u square is equal to 2u at plus 88 a square t square. Okay, so we got the left side of the third equation of motion, but here we should get 2a, yes, right? Okay, we have 2, we have a, but somehow we have to bring s into the picture. Okay, fine. So how we will do, if we can answer, pause the video and try to answer it yourself, and if you are not getting, then stop the video. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so what I'll do is I will take 2a common. Okay, I'll take 2a common. So here here you may say we don't have 2, so how to take? So I can write it as, here nothing is there means we have 1, right? Okay, I can write 1 as 2 divided by 2. Okay, then I can take 2 common, 2 common. Okay, so I'm taking 2a common. Okay, so when I do that, I'll get v square minus u square. So I'm taking 2a common, so I've taken 2 and a common, so I will left with u into t. Yeah, ut plus, since I told you multiply and divide with 2, you will get anyway 1. So I have already taken 2 out. Okay, 2 out and a out. So I will have 1 divided by 2 into 80 square. Yeah, I have taken 1a out, so I left with 1a inside and t square. Okay, so we know from the second equation of motion is s is equal to ut plus half 80 square, right? Yeah, so s is equal to ut plus half 80 square. Yeah, we'll just replace this with s. Okay, yeah, voila, we got the third equation of motion. It's very simple, right? Yeah, so this is the third equation of motion. Okay, fine. And we can use this equation to find out the velocity or the distance, provided they have given all the variables which are there in the equation. Okay, fine. It gives the relation between velocity and the distance traveled by the object. Okay, fine. Yeah, I hope everybody understood this. Okay, so now the next question is where and when to use. Okay, way to use. Okay, we have three equations, right? So v is equal to u plus at and s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, but where to use? See, if you closely observe, in every equation there is one variable missing from so what, right? Yeah, so in this equation there is no s. Yeah, there is no s, is not there in this equation. And in this equation which is not there, v is not there, u is there but v is not there. Okay, fine. Obviously if they ask you to find out what is the distance, okay, provided they have given other variables, and if they ask you to find out the distance, obviously you can't use this equation, right? Yeah, you have to use either this equation or this equation depending upon the given information. Okay, and in this equation there is no v. If they ask you to find out the final velocity, you can't use this equation. Okay, you have to use this or this equation. Okay, fine. Yeah, and in this equation there is no t. Okay, if they ask you to find out what is t, you can't use this third equation. Okay, fine. Yeah, fine, you can use this one or this one. But what we have to use precisely, that is when your teacher asks you to calculate the speed, provided some actions, some actions are given during some period of time, so you will use the first equation. Okay, and if your teacher asks you to calculate the position, okay, the given some actions are taking place and they will provide some data. Okay, fine. So if you have let's say initial velocity, time and the acceleration, and if they ask you to find out the distance, you will use this equation, right? Yeah, okay. And if your teacher asks you to find out a speed, okay, a speed, provided distance is given in the equation, distance and velocity is given in the equation, you can use the third equation. Okay, fine. I hope everybody understood. And there is a very important concept, that is, for what are the conditions required to apply these equations. Okay, fine. Yeah, so we can't apply these equations everywhere, right? There are some conditions which we have to follow, which we have to look at. The first one is velocity of the object, it should be lesser than that of the speed of the light. And the second one is the acceleration should be constant. Okay, yeah, what is the constant acceleration, I'll discuss in next video. And the third is the object should move in a straight line. Okay, fine. Yeah, so for those all equations we can apply, we can apply I mean for these whenever you are trying to apply these equations of motion, I mean three equations, you should take care of these three conditions. Okay, yeah, if the object is following these three conditions, okay, we can apply these three equations of motion. Okay, so with this I'm going to end this video. I hope everybody understood. If you are not able to if you have some doubt, go back and then watch the video. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, fine, fine. So with this I'm going to end this video. So thank you very much.